Best class setup, I'd highly recommend using the ASG Shotgun with Dragon's Breath, Frenzy Guard, and any Gobblegum for armor. Spawn in and open up both sides of the map, and then also go up to the cannon, open up the castle door, and after the castle door, go to the oubliette room, open up the locks, take out the doppelgas, pick up the crystal, put it in the portal, and get the pack-a-punch. Now from here, go behind Quick Revive, and you're going to find a door, and this is where you're going to talk to Craft. Now, once you get to this point, you have to go back to the tavern at spawn and find these 6 urns. Each of them is going to have a symbol. You must remember them. The first is on the bar. The second is on the table. The third is on a table next to the bar. The fourth one is at the very top floor of the tavern. The fifth one is right next towards where the second one was. And then the sixth one is right behind the Gobblegum machine. Once you remember all 6, go to the Undercroft, melee this area, and it will have these symbols behind it. Shoot all 6 of the symbols that you remember and had, and if you did do it correctly, a book is going to open up right next to it at the Undercroft. Now, before you even get the pages for the book, you must get all of the elemental swords on Citadelle des Morts, and I have a detailed guide for you guys to do that in the link in the description. You have to be above round 10 and collect each of the stamps and then all of the swords. Now, once you do that, go towards the Staminup room and pick up 4 pages in this room. They are hard to find, but they are everywhere. They could be behind the bunk beds, around the outer wall, in the inner wall, in the little corners. Look, and once you find all 4, put all the 4 pages on, and you're going to now have to remember each of the 4 pages. Once you have the pages, go for the lightning incantation. You're gonna have to go towards this area and at the farm and get the horseshoe. Now, once you have the horseshoe, if you actually take the cannon trap, you should get struck by lightning, and now you should also look for a lightning cloud, and underneath that cloud, you will find a Pegasus horseshoe, which then you can put at the spawn. Get a bunch of lightning sword eliminations with this, or it doesn't even matter. Then use your lightning sword, hit the chest, and you now have the lightning incantation. For the fire incantation, you are going to have to open up this door and charge the sword and then launch the charged attack at that bonfire, just like the Horizon Drac bonfire steps. That is the first one. You can get a bunch of souls by them spawning in zombies. The second one is just above the gate that you shot with the cannon. Again, it's 20 souls to get a charged shot. And then the third one is just next to the vase that you did for the Durandal sword upgrade. Now, once you take out the doppelgas, it will drop Raw's Ankh, and then you pick up Raw's Ankh, place it just below where you are, and get a bunch of kills, and then obviously a chest will spawn, hit it with your fire sword, and you have the fire incantation. Now, for the next incantation, this is going to be the Soleil incantation. This one, you have to shoot a candle after you talk to Craft above the dining hall. Then shoot a second one, and you're trying to refract the beam into each of the candles. So you have to sort of fidget around where you're shooting and aiming and make sure that it's refracting in the correct way. And if it becomes a solid beam, that's how you know you done it correctly. And if you did finish it correctly, if you go to the alchemical lab here, you can actually pick up the brooch and it will be there. Place the brooch there at the dining hall, get a bunch of soul elims, get the light sword, hit the chest, and then you now have the light incantation. Now, for the shadow incantation, the dark incantation, you're going to need to go to this cave slide next to the pack-a-punch, and there's going to be a raven at the end of the slide, and shoot the raven. Once you shoot the raven, it's going to start flying around the spawn room, and you're going to need to take it out, and once you take it out, an item will drop from it, being the raven's foot. Now, what you're going to want to do is take this raven's foot back to the Undercroft, and then obviously do it again, get your souls, hit the chest with the Balmung or the dark sword, and then you will finally get the dark incantations. Now, these incantations are all to spawn in an orb for the next step. So what you're going to want to do now, once you have all 4 incantations, is look for the 4 traps that you need. This is the order: top left, top right, bottom right. So top left from you is 8. The bottom left was 4. The top right was a circle with an eye, and the bottom right was a circle. You need to find all of these ring of fire traps. There's 3 into the castle that I just showed here, and then the other 3 are at the spawn, and you need to do the order. If you did do it correctly, the symbol will stop glowing, and so my second symbol here was the 4-star eye, and so I was able to get that one right next to the well. They are going to be in different spots for you, and then obviously I did it. My third spot was the eye with the circle, and then I found that right in front of the castle here, and obviously there's one right at the farm. And then you just need to get about 6 to 8 souls in here, knifing, doesn't matter what you use. And then once you have done that 4 times, this will spawn in, and you're going to figure out your order for what to do the swords in. So my order here was lightning, light, dark, and then fire. And so I decided to then use the lightning incantation and then inspect the lightning sword and then place the lightning sword onto the soldier. And then obviously with the next one being the light, I then did this with Soleil. So I grabbed the Soleil sword, hit the incantation with the light incantation, and all these incantations are all in this dining hall area. And then once the soldier salutes, you place the sword back down. And then my third symbol was the Balmung. So I did the dark incantation and then inspected the sword and then put it on this dining hall. And then the last one was fire, then did hit the fire incantation and then placed the caliber. Now the biggest thing with this step is to make sure that you are on a pretty low round, because now you're going to be doing your final thing before the boss. This is the elemental challenge. If you did do this correctly, you should get an orb. Now what you're going to want to do is pick up the light sword and the light incantation, pick up the orb and place it just 1 floor above where you are. And what you're going to want to do is stand in each of these light orbs and get kills with the light elemental weapon and the incantation. If you did it correctly, you should have an orb. The second orb, now you're going to need the Durandal and the lightning incantation. Just use the lightning incantation. I find that's easiest, and then pick it up once you have finished that one. The third one's in front of the castle with the fire sword and then the fire incantation. Just use the fire incantation and then just pick up the orb. And then the last one is the Balmung. Get the dark incantation. Just use that. And then once you have done it, you should have the orb with all 4 elements. Bring it back to where you found the order and then click it, and then you're going to be able to find a really cool character called Owl who gives you the key to the boss fight, which is actually right at the spawn room. I really recommend for this boss fight to have Idle Eyes or Arsenal Accelerator, anything for armor, Perkaholic, and once you're in, just knife him with your melee weapon. It will do a lot of damage, and then just shoot him until a weak point comes out. It might not do a lot of damage, but I'm telling you, it is a big important part. Once you're done, then you will get a phase where he just kind of chills out for a second, and you can just get a bunch of zombie kills. I would highly also recommend bringing Casimir mechanisms into this. Make sure you're also running Vulture Aid, and then he'll unfreeze, and the arena will become shorter. He'll be able to spit out lava now, so you have to make sure that you watch out for that, and obviously he'll become faster. And then he'll freeze up again, and then you have a bunch of zombies. Again, use your Casimirs to get a bunch of armor. Armor is the hardest thing to find in this, and also bring the Balmung so you can cause Casimir mechanism voids for the zombies to stop hitting you. And then once you have done that third phase, it will be even smaller. And then, ladies and gentlemen, you have beaten Citadelle Day More. And if you do decide to continue, you do actually get some insane rewards, being some legendary tools and some tier 3 pap crystals.